When the first Paddington movie was released in the US in 2015, I was stunned and amazed at how much I absolutely loved it. It was one of those films that was charming, it was witty, it was just whimsical and fun in the good kind of way, and it brought joy to 2015's January. And so, let's hope that Paddington 2 does that for January of 2018. So, Paddington 2 is the sequel to the 2015 hit, well, 2015 for the US, 2014 for the UK and some other countries, but it was a hit. I loved it. It actually got 5 stars from me, I believe, in my review for it. They probably could have called this movie Paddington 2, Paddington Goes to Jail, because that's kind of what happens in the... No, that is what happens in this movie. It is a sequel to the first Paddington, obviously. Paddington is still living with the Browns.
You're in great shape for a man your age, Mr. Brown.
Ah, thank you, Paddington. Hang on, how old do you think I am?
Oh, about 80?
And he's having a good time. He's part of the community. He's helping a lot of people. Well, he wants to give a gift to his aunt, who is in the retired home for bears still. And there is this great pop-up book of London that he wants to give to her, but it's rare, it's expensive, it's pricey, so he gets a job. And just as he's getting enough money to actually pay for the book, someone steals it, Paddington gets framed, Paddington goes to jail. Meanwhile, the villain who actually has the pop-up book is using the pop-up book as a treasure map to get a hidden treasure. It's a treasure map. So now Paddington and the Browns have to clear Paddington's name and solve the mystery. Just like the first film, I adored Paddington 2. It was everything I hoped it could be as a sequel, and it stays true to the first film with the same style. And yes, it is the same director, it's the same writers, but sometimes sequels, even with the same directors and the same writers, aren't quite the same and doesn't have the heart the other one does. Paddington 2 does have the wit, the charm, the whimsicalness, and the heart of the first one. And honestly, I like the story of this one even better. And yes, the first Paddington, I love its story, I love its charm of him going to London, trying to find a home, eventually finding a home with the Browns. And I like that story, but I also love this story about this bear helping out the community and eventually getting framed and having to clear his name, and the community and his family coming together. There's a lot of really great things about this movie. And in this one, it has a nice kid's message where it is ultimately being good, be friendly to other people, and eventually good things will come to you and good things will happen, and you can see the good in everyone. Basically, it's kind of like pay it forward. Or, you know, the whole saying, pay it forward, not the movie, pay it forward. So I guess let's start off with the performances when it comes to the good, because they're really great, they're entertaining, they are absolutely fun. We still have all the characters from the first one, or the ones still alive, and the ones, well, I don't think anyone, yeah, no one died in the first one. But you know, we have the Browns, we have Miss Bird, who is with the Browns and sort of the maid. We have a bunch of other people that are still in this movie, and they're all really great. Sally Hawkins is great. Hugh Bonneville. Jim Broadbent shows up again in this film because he was the antique stealer, and he ultimately has the pop-up book in this one that Paddington wants. And Ben Whishaw still voices Paddington, and they're all great. All the recurring characters are still really great, and all the new ones are damn amazing, honestly. You got Hugh Grant, who is the villain of this film, and very similar to Nicole Kidman. He is absolutely insane, but where Nicole Kidman's character was insane and psychopathic in the scariest possible way, Hugh Grant's more of the zany psychopath, where he has multiple personalities because he's an actor, and Yeah, he has these moments where he's in an attic filled with all the costumes of his previous performances, and he's devising his plans and talking as all these other different performances and all these different acting roles he's been in, and I guess he's going to be our Split of 2018, or our James McAvoy performance with Split. I guess it's Hugh Grant this year. I think I like Nicole Kidman's villain better because there's a lot more danger involved with her character because she's dangerous and psychopathic and she wants to stuff a talking bear. But Hugh Grant's zany is really fun and entertaining for this film. And you've probably seen it in the trailers. Brendan Gleeson's in this film. He is a convict. He is the chef. He is Knuckles, and he is by far one of the best, one of the funnest, one of the most amazing performances in this movie. I loved his character. I loved him. He was over the top, and he was fantastic.
Excuse me? Mr. Knuckles?
Yes?
I just wondered if I could have a quick word about the food.
Send a medic to the canteen.
You want to complain?
Oh, no, I wouldn't say complain.
Oh, that's a shame, because I just love it when people complain.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Well, in that case, it's very gritty.
Oh.
And lumpy. And as for the bread, need I say more? I think we need to completely overhaul the menu. Now, I know we're working to a tight budget, but we could at least add some sauce. Oh, sorry about that. I'll just, No, that's just rubbing it in. Don't worry. I know what gets ketchup stains out. Hang on. Was it mustard? No. That's just made it worse. Does anyone know what works on ketchup? Chaps?
All the wit, the charm, the heart, the funny things with the first film, it has the same style with the second. And there's a lot of moments where I laughed and I chuckled, and almost everything in the prison scene, everything that happens in the prison is pretty damn fantastic. And I loved everything about the prison and all the scenes within the prison. It's really funny.
Brown pig, laundry duty.
It's only one red sock. What's the worst that can happen? Afternoon, chaps.
Now I will say this, it does have the same formula as the first one, so it is predictable, but it's still done in such a solid fashion that I can forgive it for being predictable. And there are moments where it is emotional, like the climactic part of the climax of the film is this train and this action sequence on the train, and after that train sequence, there is something very shocking and seemingly dangerous and seemingly like, oh, this could be the end for a certain character, and it's really emotional and highly effective. I love it when family films can appeal to children and younger audience, but at the same time can appeal to adults. And there's a lot of things within Paddington and Paddington 2 that are very appealing for an older generation, and even a generation such as mine. There's always some sort of reference to classical or more artistic movies within this film, and there are moments that almost remind me of a Wes Anderson film, especially the scenes within the prison. That's probably why I like the prison scenes the most. And even though there's some really great visual gags and very slapstick comedy, especially with the haircut, the barbershop scene is pretty fantastic. This movie doesn't shy away from the actual danger that happens within the movie. It doesn't shy away from some darker humor as well. Again, this is a film that's more for a family rather than a specific age group. As far as the CGI goes, I loved it. I loved the visual effect. I loved the CGI bear. It's still really great, and there's still a lot of fun to be had by seeing this very pretty realistic yet not too realistic bear that is cartoony, and you could almost imagine this in the world of Paddington. There is a few green screen shots that don't look all that good when it comes to the train scene, but very minor detail. Honestly, I love this film. I'm not a big fan of cutesy, whimsical films, but Paddington does it for me. I don't know if it's its British charm. I don't know if it's actually because it's a solid film, but there's something about the Paddington movies that I highly love. And honestly, we got our first 5-star movie of the year, and we're only 2 weeks into 2018. Paddington 2, 5 stars. So, have you seen Paddington 2? Have you seen the first one? What'd you think about them? Go ahead and comment below. And if you like this video and you want to see more, please check out movie reviews and movie countdowns that I have on my channel. As always, this is Bruce Gifford, and this was Just My Opinion.